So the car is basically running. I did have a small electrical issue due to some overloaded wiring behind the dash to do with the ignition system's relay. Basically everything goes through that relay, and it was a bit too much, so I've got some modifications in line, shall we say, to improve that. In fact, I've already improved it a bit, but I'm going to improve it some more. But the other thing that was revealed in my short journey around our local, very local roads was something which didn't surprise me at all, which was wheel arch clearance over here. So as you can see, the wheel arch clearance here is basically 0. And it's surprising it didn't just rub continuously. In a way, I can just about, I'll get my finger in it just to there, but no further. Why has that happened? It's hard to say, really. I should have made notes, more notes perhaps, with the body was off, or before the body was originally taken off. One thing that has changed is the wheels have moved outwards slightly, so that's certainly part of it. But why is it not quite central in the wheel arch? That's a bit of a question that I don't really know the answer to. But having said all that, I think that the overall look of this arch and the wheel clearance and so on is quite good. But as I say, we do have this problem here. Now the question is exactly what to do about that, but I think the simplest answer is worse on this side, by the way, than the other. I think the simple answer is to cut the wheel arch and move it back, I don't know, an inch. There's nothing inside here that would prevent that from happening. So I think that's the thing to do. My little wheel arch spat here, that can come off and then be put back on again, I think. So that's the first thing I'll do. I think I'm going to take this spat off, currently riveted. All the other ones, or similar things to do with spoilers, are laminated, but I knew this one would have to change. That was easy. So yeah, look back at a previous episode, see how I made that. I'm still quite pleased with it, actually. Possibly I could improve the surface more, definitely, which I might do. Anyway, that's not the main thing. The main thing is this, and I need to increase the clearance. I think the whole arch needs to move backwards, basically. So I think what I'm going to do is simply cut it. Sounds a bit radical, doesn't it? Here we go then. Okay, was a bit savage, wasn't it? But now I can put this back on slightly further back, and my wheel arch problems, clearance problems, will disappear. That'll be nice, won't it? Right, well, here we go. It's fixed on with hot glue for the moment. But that seems fairly sensible. So I think what I've got to do, rather than, it is quite tempting to lay it on top. Very tempting, actually. I'm going to have to think about this, because the wheel arch is slightly too far in. In actual fact, it would be quite beneficial. I'm not sure. I mean, to be honest, that does look quite good, just like it is. And this little bit up here is a little bit more dubious, because it sticks out just here. So that needs to be let in, whereas not so much further back. But down here, yeah. Right, a bit at a time, I think. So I'll scribe a line there, cut that section out, and then stick it together flush. Okay, so hopefully I can, yes, so that now can sit flush, not on top. In fact, yeah, I'll stay with the approach. Well, I think that works quite well, actually. Yeah, it does. And spacing out the arch, well, yeah, maybe it can be beveled slightly. Yeah. Of course, it needs to be joined up. The overlapped joint's not going to join very well on the inside. Yeah, so I'm going to have to take some of because the lip here, at this point it almost closes the vertical part of the bodywork, almost completely closes that lip off. So that's no good. So that's going to have to be cut back. But not completely. In fact, down here it's fine. It's only from about here upwards. Yeah. Okay, so that's so it's just a question of blending it, really. Right. I think that's basically it. I just need to do some tidying up. Okay, so I'm just going to bevel this, and we can kind of stick it back together again. So in the end I decided to cut more of this off and not to overlap so it will go in. It will go in like this, and obviously I've got a job of work now to join this up. Indeed I have. So, fiberglassing time then. So I've got my arch kind of attached. Using pieces of offcuts fiberglass actually, which seems to be remarkably strong actually. Fixed on with hot glue, which obviously I can scrape off, remove after. So I just need, I did remove a little bit more in there than I should have done. But I'll need to put something behind it, and then I can put some glass fibre over the top. Let's see if I can do that. No, I need to turn the wheel. Right. There we go. Now this is a piece of cardboard that's been covered in clear packing tape, which should be anti-stick for fiberglass. So I just need to put some of that in there, and then I should put some glue over some fiberglass over the top. And my spat almost covers it up, but not quite. So that will go on like that afterwards. I'm just wondering whether to use P40 just so I can get this together. Not sure. That's quite a neat wheel arch, but it has got one or two bits missing. Now as it turns out, because this is such a small section, and because I need, I'm going to have to go at the back anyway. I have actually done the front face with P40, which is the fibrous filler, and I shall come back, I'll remove the stick-on bits, and I'll come back and I'll glass fibre it from behind and fill in whatever defects there are. That's the approach, simply because it's such a small piece that's missing there. If I'd cut it more carefully there wouldn't have been a small piece missing, but there we are. The other bit I've got is these sections here, which are also missing. So I'm going to use my what is this called? PVC foam board moulding technique. And as you can see, hopefully, there's a little bit of it. I'm just going to have another go. I'll put some glue on the face of it. There we go. And the same is going to apply, so that's that one done. And after it's been put on there, I shall fill it from the front, then I'll peel the PVC stuff off, and then we can do it from the back. And that will now stay there well enough for the purpose. What I think I will also do is I'll actually put some grease on this so it's easier to peel it off. Okay. Has this gone off? Yeah, this actually has gone off already. So I'll remove the joining pieces. There we go. So there's no more hot glue holding it at the moment. In fact, I can take the cardboard out as well. There we go, that's the cardboard covered with clear packing tape. In fact, it's not a bad join already, but I need to get rid of the traces of hot glue, which are right in here. So chisel and chisel basically. Because I've still got some holes here, haven't I? I need to put the cardboard back in again. Because it doesn't spread very well, P40, with all the fibrey bits in it. I tend to like dabbing it, as I'm doing here. Right, here we go, onto my foam board. Right, that's one. I think I've mixed too much stuff up. Having a long edge. I'm just noticing this while literally doing it. With my long edge, I'm able to bridge both sides of the hole, of the gap. So I'm just going to smooth this off a little bit, or a lot. Well, the arch is pretty much there, just a little bit of extra adjustment going on, and then I shall be okay for a primer, I think. And obviously there's a heck of a lot more clearance, in there now, and before I couldn't even get a finger in. But of course I've got almost exactly the same problem on this side. So this here is the spat that I made using my PVC foam board melting technique anyway, but it's only ever been fixed on with rivets up to now. So now I'm going to take it off for now and then put it on properly, if you like. There we go. It's quite nice actually. I'm quite pleased with it. Could possibly be thicker, but whatevs, as they say. Anyway, put that aside because the problem isn't that, it's this. So I need, similar to the other side, the lip of the arch to come back by around an inch. Okay, so similar to last time, we need to move backwards roughly like that, perhaps not quite as much as that. Now it looks like the spacing needs to be around 2 inches, which is here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to draw a line around the arch, around the cut-off piece, and that will be my cut mark. Need to get my pencil. Well, after a little bit of fiddling around, that's pretty good, I think. So I need to chamfer the edges. I'll need to make a thing to go in there. And actually I've just noticed there's not enough clearance as I... What is there? Not quite. Okay. Let's see if I can slice some little bits off. So I've beveled the edge of this inside and outside, and I also cleaned it off with acetone, which I believe is beneficial, but anyway, and then it goes on like this, which is about right. But I do need to also bevel off this, so I shall do that right now. So I'll just put a bit of hot glue in the middle of it to kind of hold it in place a bit. And it is quite hot. Yep. Ouch, that hurt. Right, so the cardboard obviously is only very temporary. So Isopon across there, P40 fibre filler. I really, having considered the use of what you might call actual fiberglass, I really think that's probably just not necessary, certainly at this stage. I mean, there is a slight element of doubt whether any further modifications to the arch will be necessary, so I think that will be fine, certainly for now and perhaps forever. But let's get the stuff anyway. Right, well, this is, as I say, thick stuff. You can see the way it goes on. But it is a deviled sand, so best not to put any more on than is really necessary. Right, did some work on the other side while I was waiting for this side to go off, but let's get rid of these now. Get rid of the traces of the glue. Well, that made a hell of a mess, but yeah, I mean, it is joined together again. Now to glue on my spat. I say glue because it's basically what this is. Just one screw to fix it while it sets. So after all that, this is what we have. We've got quite a good clearance. Now this one is not quite as good as the other side. There's a little defect I think you can see there, which needs some further work. But it's pretty good, and the spat that I made, which was previously kind of stuck on with rivets, is now nearly a seamless part of the bodywork. Matches the front pretty well. The other side is slightly better, actually. Again, I'm sure it can bear some further improvement. I've just noticed that little thing, for example. But having paint on it actually helps in that regard. But the important thing about it is that I can now get my wheel arch sensible clearance, whereas previously I couldn't hardly even get one finger in there. Now I can get almost 3, and that is the important thing, and that resulted from my first test drive around local roads. So we move onwards and upwards. If you got as far as this, thanks very much for watching, and in case you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. That would be really encouraging for me. So catch you on the next one.